How's it going, everybody? So real quick, I wanted to take a minute and show you guys my setup. So I've been doing a lot of freestyle videos and stuff like that, and hopefully you have noticed that my footage has gotten a lot smoother, and that's due to a number of things. But first and foremost, I'm running Raceflight 1, and I'm running version 426.144. I believe that's the Copa mode, which works for the most part. I think I might try it in manual mode. But anyways, these are my PIDs. So they're based off of the GoPro tune. So if I were to go in here, it's based off the GoPro tune, and then I changed a couple of things. So there's that. I've got ESC signal smoothing on, RC smoothing set to 66. This is my CG adjustment. I believe that's stock. And I'll show you the TPA again. This should be a stock GoPro RC12 TPA. So there's that for you. But yeah, and the most important thing, which I think really affects flight more than even your PIDs, are your rates. Oh, that's not right. Real quick. So I have my roll rate set to 400, and I keep it the same across the board with all my rates. Some people don't like that. I think it works pretty well, but 73 for my Expo and 175 for my Acro Plus, which is kind of like RC rate for Betaflight. So for those of you guys running a different firmware, if you just want to use the same rates, basically it works out to 1100 degrees per second, but because I have so much Expo dialed in there, it keeps it real I guess you could say buttery towards the middle, so it's easier to be more precise. And then if I need more roll rate, then I just bring it up to the outside, and then just with practice you can be precise even with the quick movements, but I really think it's important to have control towards the center of the stick. So anyways, I hope that answers some questions for you guys. Now I'm going to move on to the rest of my setup. So we have here, I am sponsored by Armaton right now. I am not running the Chameleon TI because I'm waiting on parts from Raceflight. So if you guys could hurry up my shipment of my Bolt 32, that would be awesome. But so I just found this to be a very solid frame. I like the way it's constructed. The CG is a little bit high, but it's whatever. I still get to fly well enough. I'm using a Rotor Riot Runcam 2. I'm running these Johnny FPV 2700 kV motors, which are awesome. So an important thing to note about that is I limit my throttle travel to 80% so I don't get those really nasty high amps and kill my battery. Right now I'm just messing around with these China Hobbyline bricks. It's not what I always use. They're actually quite big and kind of heavy. So give me 1 second. I normally run either China Hobbyline or Newbie Drone Nitro Nectar 1500 milliamp hour battery pack. I just like these for freestyle. I'm really not too concerned about weight. I've got plenty of power. So there's that for you. Now as far as props go, obviously these are the Evon or the Emax Avon Flow. I think these are easiest to tune to get smooth footage. And I mean, these things get super smooth footage, even in wind. I mean, I was out there flying in like 25 mile an hour wind, and my footage was, I barely saw any vibrations whatsoever. I really like these, but they draw a ton of amps. So that's really the big downside to it. They're not terribly fast, but they're quick enough. So when I'm not doing that, when I'm not using those props, I either run these Gem Fan Wind Dancers, which are really good, or the HQ 4.3, so 5 by 4.3 by 3 V1S, and they're pretty good. So there's that. But yeah, and then obviously, so you can see here, I'm running Crossfire in the back. So I've got TBS Crossfire, TBS Unify, which this one goes all the way up to 800 milliwatts, which I use when I'm it's just me out flying, which is most of the time. And then as you can see in here, I've just got the revolt and the bolt. And then all these 3D printed parts are from BMC 3D. I am not sponsored by them, but I really like his stuff. It's really high quality, and he ships it out pretty quickly. So, yeah, there's that. This is my radio. Could have been bad. I have the big full-size Crossfire unit on the back, little battery to plug in there, running the diamond antenna. And if you guys don't have one of these, you need to get one of these Newbie Drone neck straps. Super awesome. You can disconnect them and then clip them back in. So, and I've never had an issue with one of these failing. All right, on to the video. These are my Fat Sharks HD 3s, and I'm running the Newbie Drone goggle foam. And then this is my Clearview, which I'm just using 2 Emax Pagodas. I might get some patch antennas on there later, but for right now, these get me plenty of range. And then I've got a battery under there to power that and my goggles. So yeah. Again, I mean, the frame it's important. You want something that's not going to resonate a whole lot, which is why I really like the Astro X. But you don't really need. It's important, but the most important thing is honestly just going to be having quality electronics on there. So like that said, that's why I use Raceflight. I've found a firmware that works really well for me. I know there's newer stuff out there, but this just happens to work, so I'm sticking with it. If you guys know Johnny FPV, Johnny Share, he's kind of the same way. He's actually using a really old version of Raceflight 1, and it works for him. I mean, you look at his footage, it's top-notch, so really no reason to change it if it works. So, yeah, but other than that, I'm running a neutral density filter on this guy. I have these stick-on ones that I got off of eBay. And so I'm running an ND4 right now. I'll also throw an ND8 on if it's a really sunny day. But that's pretty much the gist of it. So that's my setup. Really, and when it really comes down to it, your rates are what's going to make your footage look super smooth. So once you get all the vibrations and stuff out, having your rates set up the way that you like them is going to obviously give you the best performance. So if you're not liking the way that your footage is looking right now, then you know, just get out there, experiment, try something different, try my rates out, let me know what you think. And yeah, so just one last little general rule of thumb with that is that just try adding 10% to your Expo and then 10% to your either RC rate or your Acro Plus, and see how it feels. So that's kind of how I started. I just kept on increasing those values until I got to where I am now, and I really like it. Don't plan on changing it. So cool. Well, yeah. Well, I hope to be giving you guys more, I guess, not necessarily tutorials, but just more informational videos on how to get your drone flying, as well as mine are. Because mine, I mean, you be the judge. Look at my footage. I think they're flying pretty well, and it's taken me a long time to get them to this point. So if I can save you some time and a headache to get there, then by all means, like, it's done. It served its purpose. So yeah. But that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching.